Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Friday Podcast with your host, Chris. And we are back this week with episode 103. This time I'm solo again. Hopefully I'll have my cousin Isaac on soon for his B-Day. Let's get to it. Sorry, I'm trying to sit up straight. I just look like I just pop. No, sit up straight. All right. What a beautiful day it's been. Stressful, but good at the same time. Stress means that we're alive. And we got to be grateful that we even have the ability to stress. Some people don't even have the ability to have anxiety. We might see them as lucky, but really, we're the ones that are stronger because of it. Especially if you don't let it break you, because it's not killing you. Stress is, if you let it kill you, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm rambling. It's been an interesting month. Many changes, but that's what life is. Life is full of change. That's what life is. Life equals change. Sometimes we just have to be grateful for what we don't have to worry about, instead of worrying about what we don't have. And that's easy to say and do sometimes. I mean, it's easy to say sometimes. Not always easy to do. What's really been helping me this week, besides prayer, of course, is remembering that when you're uncomfortable, that means you're growing. Discomfort usually means that you're gonna get better from it. If you're comfortable, then you're not learning. Usually. But when you're in an uncomfortable situation, like at work or whatever, after handling that situation, you'll be better at handling that type of situation, because you're like, oh, I've been through this before. This is what usually happens. And a lot of it is just confidence. And I've also been trying to, like, when I'm around students, for instance, and also coworkers, you know, I try to, like, stand up straight, take up all my space, because the more you hunch down and do like this, the less respect that you'll have for yourself, but the less respect people will give you just unconsciously. That might not be necessarily true, but definitely children, who all they know is everything's pretty basic. Like, we don't know, oh, this dude might look strong, but he's not strong, or this person might look weak, but they're not really weak. Kids see that you're all like, they know, and they take advantage of it. Or if you let them exasperate you, or if you let them stress you out, you can't. It's just like Marcus Aurelius would say, like, or I don't know if it's Marcus Aurelius, but somebody said, if you let somebody piss you off, they won. For you not to get pissed off when somebody's trying to piss you off, that's a win. All right. Now, what's interesting is some third grader asked me this question today too. And the first random question: do I prefer cats or dogs? Damn, that was loud. I also saw a friend at work today, old schoolmates. Amber, shout out to Amber. It was really cool to see you at work in the morning. That was very tight. I prefer, if I'm gonna be 100% honest, I do prefer cats. When I was a kid, we had kittens. When I was a little kid, we had kittens. We had a cat. My sister got a cat. Dogs are usually, when I was always afraid of dogs when I was a kid. So there's that. Cats just were always nicer to me. I was a real laid back, chill kid, and dogs were too much for me. I was more of a cat person. Now I respect both and I understand both and I love both. And I respect dogs because of their paw in helping us in our evolution, because they had a hand in us getting better. We would look out for them, they would look out for us. I need a pen or something. Pencil, highlighter, marker. What's your favorite aisle in the supermarket? I was trying to think of one whenever I read this, when I was setting up the camera. My favorite aisle in the supermarket. Alright, so supermarket means not just a regular grocery store. So we're not talking about natural groceries. We're talking about now Walmart, Hypermart, we used to call it back in the day. My favorite, obviously the toys. It used to be the video games, kind of, but I never really bought a lot of video games. My parents were big. They buy me a few and that's it. That's the ones you got. The energy drink aisle is pretty cool. The coffee aisle, frozen pizza aisle, brings joy to me. The chip aisle. I love all the aisles. But my favorite aisle, I guess toys. No, the office supplies. Where they have like the Sharpies and the books and little books and shit. Have you ever played apples to apples? No. If so, what's the funniest answer you've heard? Never played apples to apples. Sounds like a fun game. If you've played apples to apples and you've heard something fucking hilarious, drop it in the comment. I want to see what it is. What is the most useless talent you have? Ooh, I don't think, okay, so the talents that I consider myself, now I'm not even a great artist. I've been doing Inktober, but I'm just a silly cartoon artist. This is a feature heist. What's the prompt? I haven't colored it yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a silly little guy doing like cartoonish stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's cool. Everybody has a talent. I better lose my page, but I'm pretty sure I did. Whoa, who's your favorite comedian? I wonder when I answered that one. Right now it's Shane Gillis. I don't know who it was before. Do you like dressing up or do you prefer to always keep it casual? Nah, I like dressing up. I like ironing my pants and having it clean, you know what I'm saying? I like having the shirt ironed. I don't mind tucking it in. Hopefully I'm not feeling too bloated, but I do like to tuck it in. And even if I am bloated, fuck it. It just looks nice. But dressing up, it does feel good. If you were going on a road trip, what are the 3 must-haves you couldn't leave without? Phone. I'm trying to think, like energy drinks or sketchbook. Extra underwear or antiseptic. I don't know. Definitely some CBD. So I got my phone, CBD, and my anxiety meds. Fuck it. Cause I think I can get like a sketchbook anywhere. I could just draw on anything. I could draw on my phone if I want to, or I'm probably not gonna be drawing a lot on vacation. Can you honestly say you're enjoying your life right now? Yes, 100%. I just see 2555. Yeah, as of this moment, I am very much enjoying my life because I'm creating something and some people enjoy it. And even if this part hardly gets watched, the clips that I make of the spirit animals and the symbolism of the crystals and the angel numbers and the dream meanings and badass women of herstory, anything that can help somebody, I'm just glad to be helping. And people say some people say it's helping. I like it. It feels good to make people feel good. Obviously. I am enjoying my life right now. There's way more positive than negative, and even though sometimes the social media and the porn industry and Hollywood try to make me feel like a piece of shit, I'm not. And neither are you. If you're having a bad day, if you have a bad day, and something. If you're having a bad day, what makes it better? Oh, kicking it with friends always makes it better. Friends that also maybe partake in CBD. I just see a beautiful dragonfly right there, posted up. Oh, he just ate a bug. Oh, he missed it. Well, and he's like doing his wings, like getting ready, like open, close. Dragonflies eat mosquitoes. He missed it. Or he got him and like half of his body flew off or something. I don't know. Yeah, some CBD, kicking it with friends. A compliment. A hug. A compliment. I already said that. Making somebody laugh, honestly. If I make somebody laugh that day, I'm like, yeah, score. Cause it's just all practice for this, and if I ever do comedy on stage, maybe. How often do you lie? So, not too often, because it makes me uncomfortable, and not in the uncomfortable way that I'm learning, and it makes me like shameful. Like I don't like to lie, which has gotten me into trouble. So now I've been practicing. If I don't have something nice to say, I just don't say shit. Wait, what was the question? If I don't have an honest that's nice, I won't lie. But I do. Everybody lies sometimes. Sometimes we have to lie. And that's okay. Like the ones sometimes where I'm like, so certain kids are very talented and they'll show you, and everybody has a talent. Everybody has their own thing. That's like in life, just like kids. And some kids are just adaptable to drawing like really well. Some kids are great at math. Some kids are very sociable. Some kids are very athletic. Anyway, just like people, because they are people. But just like adults, but they're not like adults. But this is the beginning of what will. If those cool skills are harnessed, then they can be great adults. Oftentimes, some of these gifts don't necessarily have financial outcome, but it'll still help them be a happy person in life. Because yes, success is important, but what's even more important than success is happiness. Now, sometimes they go hand in hand, but you can't have true success without happiness. Because that's what true success is, being happy, being satisfied with what you have. Even if it's not everything you want, you know that what you have is way more than many others. And it's pretty good now. Do you suck or bite lollipops? I suck them until they get small and then I start crunching. What are 3 things you can't live without? Okay, this is similar to the 3 must-haves that I couldn't leave without. 3 things that I couldn't live without. Things, so not people. I'm trying to think. Technically, there's nothing I can't live without. Water, food, air. Boom! 3 things I can't live without. Water, food, air. If you were married and you had trouble in your relationship, would you go to counseling? Man. I don't really know. Do we see a pro? Or do we just let it go? If my partner's willing to go to counseling, I'm down to try it. But not every person that's a counselor Yeah, I mean, they got the knowledge. They're holding some knowledge, some secrets, I guess, that, you know, they went to school for or whatever. I would try it. Have you ever been a member of a club? I was in the Burger King Kids Club. I'm pretty proud of that. One time on one of these episodes, I showed my card. I don't remember what episode. I was like showing my Six Flags card. I was just doing random ass shit before I really had any idea what to talk about. Have you ever exacted revenge on someone? What did they do to you? Nah, I try not to exact revenge. I don't even non-exact. I don't try to do revenge. Revenge, leave that in the universe's hands. Karma, because you don't need no more. Two wrongs don't make a right. You know the sayings. And you know, giving good energy gives you good energy. So. It is what it is, player. All right. We'll stop right there. And we'll come right back with the angel number of the week. See you in a minute or less. All right. Last week we took a break. Excuse me. From the angel numbers. To have a special episode with my sister and my brother-in-law. But we're back at it today. 252. Spiritual meaning. It's likely to locate you when you are faced with a personal crisis. Now, when I printed these out, of course, synchronicity, it kind of went what I was going through. Anyway, your angels have noticed your feelings of uncertainty, confusion, and loss. They want to assure you that all is not lost. You should not despair. Divine help is at hand. The sign from the universe asks you to look at life from a new perspective. TrustedPsychicMediums.com says that angel number 252 symbolizes double blessings. Many gifts will be making their way to you, and everything will begin to fall into place. Keep your faith strong because your hard work will start to pay off. When it comes to changes that your life will be going through, be open to getting rid of old habits and patterns. AngelNumber.co says that 252 is about responsibility and fulfillment of duty, a very human topic and one that applies to everyone. It shows you how to help, duty as in D-U-T-Y. It shows you how to help others when there's no need to. And your angels are encouraging you to stay on this path of helping others. This is a number that shows up when you need to prepare for an important time in your life. AngelManifest.com says that 252 means angels tell you to trust your decisions a little more because you have the right choices for what you want. With the path and effort you choose, there's going to be a change around you. This change will make old patterns you've been changing, so be prepared to change your consciousness. YourHigherJourney.com says that as a whole, angel number 252 is a divine call for cooperation with the angelic forces to influence positive changes in your life. This unique combination of digits talks about balancing your life with your spirituality. Having complete trust in unseen forces of good can be a source of great motivation. Very interesting. All right. I thought I was doing an owl. I guess I'm doing chicken. Okay, I'm doing chicken this week. Fowl. Speaking of fowl, you can check out the Instagram, but I drew a fowl because that was one of the prompts. Check out that fowl. All right. What is myspiritanimal.com says? Keywords and characteristics associated with chicken include zeal, tenacity, social activity, sexuality, self-confidence, renewal, recognition, providence, potential, perception, patience, offering, nourishment, mysteries, life cycles, growth, funicity, fortitude, fertility, divination, diet, creativity, courage, and community. Worldbirds.com says that In Matthew 23:37, Jesus describes a mother's hen watchful love and nourishment for her chicks as a metaphor for his feelings towards the people of Israel. In this way, the hen in Christian iconography is an enduring symbol of maternal love in Christ's life sacrifice. ATSHQ.org says, for example, chickens with white feathers are called inyange and are seen as omens of peace, fortune, and prosperity. Chickens that don't have any feathers or lack them at all are called injika and are seen as bad omens associated with misfortune and calamity. Such chickens are avoided and never kept at home. That's in China, I think. Spirit-animals.com. In this case, chicken symbolism is asking you to take the time for some eternal evaluation. Internal, not eternal. Eternal can take forever. Internal evaluation. In other words, the chicken meaning reminds you that you must scratch the surface of your emotions to see what lies underneath. Therefore, you must ask yourself if you are responding to the circumstances around you from your heart. RichardALois.com says, in the Bible, the chicken is seen as a symbol of sacrifice and faith. Chickens were often sacrificed by early Christians as a way to show their dedication to God. The chicken is also seen as a symbol of hope. Not early Christians, you fools. Sorry. Because Christians didn't do those kind of sacrifices. The chicken is also seen as a symbol of hope and new beginnings in Christianity. The hen symbolizes loving care and protection. Spirit Animals and Symbolism.com. In a broader sense, the chicken is also a symbol of prosperity and wealth. The chicken is associated with the sun in many cultures, so it is believed to symbolize good fortune and happiness. In addition, because chickens are efficient foragers, they are often seen as symbols of resourcefulness and humility. Very, 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 very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Man, this is all I have left. Anxiety news. This is weird. It's like a whole story. All right. Sorry. We're gonna do one more break. We'll come back with anxiety news and badass woman in her street, and maybe that's it. Or we'll see. We might have something else for you. Be right back. All right. News source. PsychologyToday.com. Fight anxiety by risking failure. Building confidence by pushing your limits. Key points. At the heart of anxiety is the double helix of uncertainty and threat. Avoiding the big challenges in life is not only doomed to fail, but also is guaranteed to make life a tepid and anemic slog. When you've experienced repeated failures and continue to pick yourself up and move forward, confidence emerges. That's kind of what I was saying, but not as smart. I didn't say it as smart as they did earlier. So this is from Joe Leonhardt /Unsplash. It's a little story. And I'm gonna read it. Let me get a little, oh, there's no more. All right, let me get some water then. Okay. Jeff's eyes narrowed under his mop of red hair. Tension coiled like a compressed spring in every muscle of his body. Sunlight from the water below reflected up and danced across the boy's skinny frame. What the fuck? Alright, I'm not gonna read this. It's fucking stupid ass story. In dappled patterns of gold. What the fuck? Who wrote this shit? Joe Leonhardt? Bro, and then it goes on to say, nervously licking his lips, he sighed. I can't do it. Let's just forget the whole stupid thing and go home. Okay. That was unnecessary, the way that they wrote that. His friend, 2 years older, was having none of it. No, Jeff, we're not going home. Not yet, anyways. All you've been talking about is how this summer you'll make the jump off old beetle butt rock. Literally, that's what it says. Psychology Today. You saw me do it. Now it's your turn. Time to man up, Jeff. Waited for a second. His friend added, you're going to have to wear your big boy pants today. It may not fit at first. He stopped to suppress a laugh. But I suspect you'll grow into them in time. Shut up, Cliff. Interesting. They're on a cliff and his name is Cliff. The younger boy replied, more as a plea than a command. I'm 10 years old and I don't need a man up for another 3 or 4 years at least. That's a fact. I read it somewhere. Cliff laughed, the sort of friendly, dismissive laugh that older friends seem to perfect when they are children. Sure thing, Jeff. Bet you read that on the back of your stupid Marvel comics. This fucking hater. Tell you what, Cliff, eventually responded with a thoughtful tone. You're not going to die from jumping off this ledge. It's only 10 feet up from the water. And you already saw me swimming around the spot you'll be jumping into. I checked, and there aren't any hidden rocks. Just like there aren't any crocodiles, alligators, mermaids, or sharks for that matter. The only animal that's causing you trouble is that chicken. I talked about that earlier, chickens, but he's making it seem like a chicken is a bad thing. I get it. I get it. That keeps clucking inside your head. Once you jump, let me tell you, that bird won't make a peep. Jeff took a deep breath, started to say something, but thought better of it and quietly sat down next to his friend. The heat of the day was beginning to rise, and the sun beat down on their shoulders with a familiar and comforting sting. Buzzing somewhere overhead was a dragonfly, and the smell of barbecue wafted out from the shoreline. Suddenly, Jeff bolted upright and stood clenching his fist. His rapid breathing sounded like a steam engine gaining momentum. Who wrote this shit? Then, without uttering a word, he leaped from the boulder, legs and arms akimbo, falling silent as a turtle, but not half so gracefully, into the green water below. A moment later, Jeff resurfaced and let out a triumphant scream, his face beaming with delight. The coming-of-age jump from the boulder had not gone exactly according to plan, but the main thing that needed to happen had indeed happened. A 10-year-old boy had faced his fears and learned that by doing so, even imperfectly, did wonders to build his confidence and rob anxiety of its power to control him. All right, finally got to that weird story. The description words, crazy. The nature of anxiety giving clues on how to defeat it. At the heart of anxiety is the double helix of uncertainty and threat. Uncertainty is for the most part focused on whether one can deal with whatever situation has galvanized the anxiety. Do you have the ability to succeed? And if you don't prevail, do you have the ability to pick yourself up and move on in life, none the worse for wear? The greater one's uncertainty, the more one's anxiety is likely to rise. The threat aspect, not surprisingly, is focused on what might happen if you cannot successfully face some challenging situation, crisis, or event. That is, what might be the result of failure. As a general rule, the greater the cost of failure, the greater the anxiety. Some people try to resolve anxiety by building up their ability to solve whatever challenges may come their way. Others deal with anxiety by minimizing the chance that they will be forced to face any threatening challenges. Neither of these is, by themselves, a realistic solution. No one can build enough skills to be ready to face any possible challenge. And avoiding the big challenges in life is not only doomed to fail, but also is 100% guaranteed to make a life a tepid and anemic slog through each day of the week. Adventure requires risk, so a life devoted to avoiding risk is a life that lacks adventure. The road less traveled is that which focuses on building one's ability to rebound from failure. It requires building a perspective that responds confidently when asked, what if I'm not up to that challenge just yet? And it all comes crashing down. Can I get up, dust myself off, being better for having attempted it, and keep going? When you've experienced repeated failures and continue to pick yourself up and move forward, confidence emerges. This confidence is rooted in successfully failing and coming to deeply know I'm tough enough to fail and still keep moving forward. That's it. So that's pretty interesting. I try to think, you know, it'd been funny if that kid, Jeff or Cliff, whatever the fuck, they got like it wouldn't be funny, but if the story was like, they did end up getting like a flesh-eating disease from the water that was green, but, because it ended up being like a sewer line that was connected to it. But the point is, they faced their fears. Death claimed them, but they weren't afraid. But they didn't, that's it. Yeah, so I mean, we've all had like our rock bottoms, we could call them. You may not think you've had one, but at least your bottom, you haven't. Life is it's a roller coaster, right? And the reason why we can appreciate happiness is because sometimes we're sad, and balance and rain and sunlight and all that shit. So I don't remember what the fuck I was saying at all. I need to start looking at myself. I need to start looking at the camera. Camera. Alright. Yeah, like what's the worst that could happen? Trust your instinct. Taking a risk. High risk, high reward, baby. Be right back with the badass woman of her story. Badass woman of her story. Today, I'm going to discuss a very important woman to science and entertainment and education and to families and to kids. I mean, this lady made a difference to Chinese restaurants. Jian Viepru Power, born 1794-1871. Although the name Jian Viepru Power, I'm gonna say Jian Power, is little known now, the French naturalist was famous in her day for an invention that allowed people to study marine life more easily. The aquarium. But don't you see those aquariums in the Chinese restaurants? And then also families love them because, you know, aquariums and education and science and all that shit. Viepru Power started her scientific studies on the island of Sicily. And in 1832, she started investigating the paper nautilus. Popular opinion held that the nautilus took its shell from another organism, but in order to determine if this was true, she needed to be able to observe one closely. Viepru Power created the first glass aquarium so she could observe the nautilus in controlled conditions, proving that it made its own shell. She went on to design two additional variants, a glass apparatus within a cage for studying shallow water creatures, and a cage-like aquarium that could be raised and lowered to different depths. For her groundbreaking work, Viepru Power became the first female member of the Catania Academia, as well as over a dozen other scientific academies. And that's from amightygirl.com. Now, from Wikipedia, Viepru Power, born Jian Viepru on September 24th, 1794, passed on January 25th, 1871. She died at the age of 77, was a pioneering French marine biologist who in 1832, like I just said, was the first person to create aquaria for experimenting with aquatic organisms. The English biologist Richard Owen referred to her as the mother of aquariophilia. She was the inventor of the aquarium and the systematic application of the aquarium to study marine life, which is still used to this day. In her time as a forefront cephalopods researcher, she proved that the Argonauta Argo produces its own shells as opposed to acquiring them. Via Prue Power is also noted as a noted dressmaker, author, and conservationist, as well as the first female member, as I said earlier. I need to look up what this is. Catania Academia Geoenia. Early life, because this is very interesting to me. Via Prue Power was born in Juliette, Corrèze on September 24th, as we said, or 25th, 1794. The eldest child of a shoemaker. And I just saw a picture of a shoemaker having his lunch. It was very interesting thinking about a man just making shoes all day. I mean, what a simple life. And the life we lead now is so complicated and all these extra things and saw her. She lived until age 18 in rural France. And then she moved, where she learned to read and write. Moving to Paris at the age of 18, I thought she lived until 18 she died, so that means that she invented the aquarium at like 12. But no, she lived in that place in rural France, Francois. Moving to Paris at the age of 18 in 1812, she walked to Paris to become a dressmaker. A distance of over 400 kilometers or 250 miles. That's a lot of miles to walk. I was just thinking, putting it in car perspective, because I know that driving certain places like 9 miles, and I think that's far. Driving. So 250 miles walking. She was accompanied by her cousin to act as her guardian, but he assaulted her and left her to seek refuge in an Orleans police station until she could receive new travel documents. Lord Jesus, this piece of shit cousin molested her and took off. Wow. Due to that delay, her initial opportunity had since been occupied by someone else. She found another opportunity working as a seamstress assistant. She built out and proved her skills many times over until she became fairly well known. In 1816, she became well known for creating the wedding gown of Princess Caroline in her wedding to Charles Ferdinand de Bourbon. She met and married the English merchant James Power in 1818, and the couple moved to Sicily and settled in Messina, where they lived for about 25 years. That's incredible. So before she even made the aquarium, before she became a scientist, I guess, I'm assuming, she also made dresses. She made the damn dress of the princess of that fucking country. Whoa. Something just got here from the Amazonian man. Foray into science. It was after moving to Sicily where Jeanette, via Prue Power, took an interest in continuing her education. What time is it? Okay, it's that time. She began to study geology, archaeology, and natural history. In particular, she made physical observations and experiments on marine and terrestrial animals. She wanted to inventory the island's ecosystem and did so during frequent walks around the city. As she traveled, she would document and collect samples, which were later compiled and published in Itinerario della Sicilia, riguardante tutti I rami de storia. This is the longest name. Natural e pareci di antichità che essa contiene and guida per la Sicilia. And they didn't even translate it for us. Via Prue Power then began to more intently study cephalopods, and other marine life, and was in need of a vessel that would allow her better access to observation over time of the same marine animals. While land animals could be observed somewhat easily, marine life was distinctly harder to examine. As such, she worked to develop a glass enclosure, ultimately developing 3 working models. Oh, the other one just said she had 2. 3 working models to study live marine life in and out of the water. The first was the aquarium as we know it today. The second glass, so she invented the aquarium and just boom, that's it. And then she made an even better one. The second glass surrounded by a case that was submerged in the ocean. Oh, that's tight. The third, an anchored cage also to be submerged in the ocean for larger marine life like mollusks. In 1834, Professor Carmelo Maravigna wrote in the Giornale Letterario dell'Accademia, Gioenia di Catania, that via Proust power could be credited with the invention, should be credited with the invention of the aquarium and systematic application of it to the study of marine life. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes it's hard to read when you're tired after work. Her first book was published in 1839. I think I already read that. Oh yeah. She also studied her second book, Gita La Sicilia, 1842. I think I read some of it. She favored Argonauta. Argo at the time there was uncertainty over whether the Argonaut species produced its own shell or acquired that of a different organism similar to hermit crabs. Via Prue Power's work show that they do indeed produce their own shells. As a groundbreaking discovery, there was a considerable amount of backlash that she received for her work. Fucking haters, how can you? The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the aquarium, man. Via Prue Power was also concerned with conservation and is credited with developing sustainable aquaculture principles in Sicily. Being intrigued also helped to find ideas of aquaculture, which is largely considered a more sustainable food source in the future, specifically through utilizing cages attached to the shore containing fish at different life cycle stages to generate repopulation opportunities that could be moved to underpopulated rivers. She was the first woman member, and I've said this 3 times, of the Catania Academia Gioenia, and a corresponding member of the London Zoological Society and 16 other learned societies. Later life, via Prue Power and her husband left Sicily in 1843, and many of her records and scientific drawings were lost in a shipwreck. Although she continued to write, she conducted no further research. She did, however, become a public speaker. She and her husband divided their time between Paris and London. She fled Paris during a siege by the Prussian army in the winter of 1870. Returning to Juliet, she died in January of 1871. In 1997, her name, via Prue Power, was given to a crater on Venus by the Magellan probe. They named a crater after him. Crazy. They should have named a planet, a star, a moon, a crater. Popular culture. A biographical song about Jeanne Villapru is featured on 26 Scientists Volume 2, Newton de Zeno, the 2008 album by the California band Artichoke. That sentence right there, it didn't make any sense. I mean, it did, but it didn't. So you're saying there's a band from California? Of course they're from California. No hate on California, but they have to be, right? Named Artichoke. And in the year of 2008, A year after I was born. The birth of my son was born that year. Oh, wait. That is album. 26 Scientists, Volume 2, Newton to Zeno. So Isaac Newton, Jeanne Via Prue, and others. There's songs dedicated to each one. Now that's tight. It sounds in theory tight, but what the fuck? I gotta listen to that. Anyway. Secrets of the Sea. The story of G.N. Power, revolutionary marine scientist, a 2021 biographical picture book by Evan Griffith and illustrated by Joni Stone, adapts the story of G.N.'s discoveries and legacy into an educational children's book. I mean, that's cool, but they need to give this woman a book. Like a book, a real autobiographical book. Well, right. Can't be biographical book. Like the movie. Where's the fucking movie? Where's the series? Where's the Netflix show for this badass woman in her history? Jeanne Via Prue. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Power. Girl power. Alright. It's weird. I was gonna read these Spanish verses I wrote. I was trying to like make some Bad Bunny shit, make some like Spanish reggaeton type shit. Like whenever I was in the summer, I was writing a verse a day. And 2 days in a row, I wrote 2 Spanish verses. And you know what I mean. One each day. And they're pretty funny. They made me laugh, but I probably shouldn't read them. I'm not gonna read them. And I don't know if I can freestyle right now. Actually, I'm gonna get a beat and we'll try to do a freestyle. We'll come right back and wrap this baby up with a nice little bow on the top. And there it is, folks. We made it through another episode. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's try to drop a flow for these motherfuckers. Just kidding. Man. Alright. Shout out to Louie for making this beat. I got the doobie, chilling in the street. What it do, man, I always got the heat. Cause you know I gotta get my boys to eat. We gotta feast. What it do, cause I'm a beast. From the dirty southeast, Garland, Texas. Man, I'm reckless, but I come through. Holding Texas, and I ain't talking about the state. Man, what it do, man, I'm feeling so great. Steak on the plate, up in the plane. I ain't never been at all planes. Smoking on some Jane in my brain. Cause you know your boy gotta maintain. Man, hold up. Haters talk a lot of shit but won't roll up. If they solo, man, I'm dolo. Man, fuck the popo. Unless you kudo and you crooked. What it do, man? Get the booking. I'ma come through once again like a motherfucking twin. Hey, what it is. Hey, what it don't. I'ma keep coming up smoking on the jump. What? I'm running out of words. I'm start flipping birds and scraping up the curves cause talk shit. And I don't give a fuck cause I might pull a clip or I might throw a duck. Haters talk shit, but they get stuck. Haters talk shit, they ain't really tough. Man, hold up. It's about to be Halloween. So I'm smoking on some Halloween. Feeling clean, sipping on some lean. In the damn car like a white limousine. But it's just a Suzuki. What it do, man? You know I got the Uzi. And I'm smoking on that what Scooby Dooby. What it do be? Who ye? Rudy. I don't know, man. Shout out to Rudy. Shout out to my uncle. And my friend. I got a friend named Rudy too. That was pretty good. Rudy Tootie. Got the Rudy. Hootie hoo. What it do? Rockin' blue. With no crew. Cause I'm solo. In the crib. Got that smoke all up in my rib. Ha! Love y'all. See y'all next time on the motherfucking Friday podcast, baby. Got the lamb head to head going back, you know what I'm saying? Can't cut no slack. I love y'all. Peace. The cat's looking at me outside like, what the fuck is this stupid ass doing? All right.